At the Times this week, an editorial feature left some wondering if the paper has crossed the line from commentary into advocacy. It was no surprise that a New York Times editorial opposed the Republican tax plan. But the stance went a step further, posting the office numbers of key senators and urging the public to call and pressure them to vote no on the legislation. In a statement to New York Magazine, Times editorial page editor James Bennet explained the unusual move was an experiment in using a different platform to get the message out. I have to say, I've read that statement now about 50 times. I don't know what he's talking about. What different platform? It was an editorial in a newspaper, also online, and he printed it. That's not a different platform. You used a different technique, which was to print the telephone numbers and the names of the people. You should, explain why you did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have a big problem with it. It's a little ham-handed, but I wasn't as outraged as some people were.
Not only do I not have a problem with it, I say good for them. An editorial page is advocating for something, so why not take the advocacy to the next step and tell people how you can act on this? This is, in a way, obviously it's the opinion operation, but it's news you can use. The Boston Globe did this last year with their feature on guns. Their online version had interactive boxes where you could tweet at and email public officials.
Well, it may have been the same editor who actually moved from the Globe editorial page to the New York Times. I would not be surprised. She's a smart person if she's and she is experimenting with different media and social media platforms. This would be Katie Kingsbury, And I thought that what the Globe did was a year or two ago. During one of the gun control battles, where they tweeted out every minute or for a day or two, they were tweeting out little descriptions of every gun death, and it was really powerful. And I think a better use, a more creative use of the medium of Twitter than this one happened to be.
I've always had a problem with when newspapers, the opinion boards or whatever, endorse a candidate. I don't like those. We don't have networks endorsing candidates, and I think from the public's perspective,
Channel 5 does.
Do they? Well, I didn't realize that. I think the public, when they look at an organization, they look at either a TV station, a network, they look at a newspaper. They have a hard time telling the difference between what's happening on the editorial, sort of the news side, and what's happening on opinion. And I know, okay, you're making a face, but I think they have a difficult time. And when something like this happens, they go, oh, yeah, that's how you guys are.
I totally agree with you, Dan. They don't differentiate, the vast majority of people, between the opinion section and the news section. And in an era when distrust of the media is at an all-time high, I think it's reason to maybe pull back on that sort of opinion-based advocacy as opposed to diving deeper.
Although, who also doesn't make the distinction is James O'Keefe. I mean, you're not going to please everybody or make a breakthrough to everyone.